taking time for your health. The African American Wellness Watch. Trusted information for us, by us. Dr. Mike Lenore and other experts from around the country and around the world have the latest on how you and your family can get healthy and stay well. It's time for the African American Wellness Watch. Welcome to the Wellness Watch. I'm your moderator, George Strait. Well, summer and good weather are just about here, so many of us will spend a lot more time going outside and being more athletic than we could during the winter when so many of us were cooped up inside. But are our bodies ready for more exertion? And if so, how much? Well, today we're going to take a test, or actually, I'm going to take a test and provide a tool so each of us can test our own fitness. But first, what I want to do is introduce our fitness guru, Leon Bourne, to comment and help us through all of this. But before we get started, Leon, how important is it to know how fit you are actually before you begin exercising on a regular basis?
Yes, George, thank you for having me again. And I appreciate being here. And it's very important that you definitely do a pre-screening before you do any type of extreme exercise. Of course, if it's not more than getting off your couch and maybe going for a walk around the block, you want to, if you want to go and talk to your doctor, definitely. And if you've had any past issues or any major injuries, you definitely want to go get a pre-physical if you're planning on doing any extreme exercise. But if only how long you might have been sedentary or haven't been moving. So it's definitely good to get that pre-screening, especially if you're trying to do something more than just some basic movements.
So what you're saying is it could actually go up to going to with your healthcare provider to sort of make some determination, or they could go to somebody like you at a health club, right?
Yes, correct. Always getting a fitness assessment before you start a workout program is important, just so working with a professional that can outline maybe where you have some strengths and weaknesses and also some imbalances in your body can definitely help you. And even if you don't necessarily, which I encourage you to work with a professional, but having someone give you at least an outline of some things that you can work on that may be weak or some areas that you may need some strength training, something like that is very important.
So let's begin our test. Actually, this is the test that I'm going to take. And fortunately or unfortunately, folks are going to have to see me outside of my backyard. So let's begin. So welcome to my backyard. The test I'm going to take will measure my grip strength, my stamina, my balance, and overall fitness. And we've developed a specialized fitness tracker for you to use too, one where you could personalize your results based on your age and gender. The first is balance. It's really quite simple. With your eyes open, just stand on one foot and see how long you can stay there. So far, so good. Remember, if you want, you can have a chair nearby just in case. Looks like I made it to 62 seconds, which is about 30 seconds longer than my goal. So I guess my balance isn't too bad. Leon, how important is it to have good balance? And if there is a problem, if you don't have the kind of balance that you think is correct, how can you improve it?
Yes, balance is very important, especially as you get into 50s, 60s, and older ages. We know that falls, different things of that nature that may put hips, knees, feet, all of those things that allow us to be as mobile as possible. It can end up injuring a lot of people end up injuring themselves because of lack of balance. So it's very important to do things such as what you were doing in the video, standing on one leg. You can also do things such as maybe wall squats where you're sitting with your legs about 90 degrees on a wall and just holding that position because you want to create strength within the legs, certain areas such as the hamstrings, the glutes, also your quads, and doing things that also strengthen your feet. A lot of times people forget about their feet becoming strong. So you can do things such as if you're sitting in your bathroom and you might have a towel on the floor, you can crunch your toes with the towel. That helps strengthen your feet as well. So starting from the ground up is very important. And then just
Mm.
practicing standing on one foot periodically, or even daily. Like when you think about it, maybe getting like standing on one foot for 30 seconds and then trying to stand on the other foot. So that practice is very important. But any type of leg exercises are going to improve your strength overall. And it's actually proven that if you can do maybe like two strength training days where you're focusing on the legs, it increases your cardiovascular health as well.
One of the things that I do almost every morning is that, and most people brush their teeth in the morning, is when I'm brushing my teeth, I try to stand on one leg, just doing a little
Yes.
balance exercise. I mean, you're brushing your teeth anyway, so why not do something else if you possibly can, right?
Right. And I call those like micro dosing your workouts or micro dosing fitness, things that are not seen as maybe like, an exercise, but they're things that are going to help to improve your overall quality of life that you can add in just bit by bit. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to the gym to do this. You can, like you said, you can easily stand on one foot, or like I was talking about in the bathroom, you can easily scrunch your toes on, the bathroom rug or a towel. That just helps over time. Doing that daily, it stacks up, and every little bit helps.
I really like this whole idea of microdosing. So let's go to our next test, which is really about stamina. So in this stamina test, I'm walking because this is a test of how fast you can walk or run a mile. So I'm choosing to walk through my neighborhood. Well, I finished my walk. I'm a little winded. It took about 18 minutes, a little slow. I'd hoped to do it in about 14 or 15. So I was a little slower than I expected and a little bit winded. Stamina is so important, Leon. Let's talk a little bit about that and how one can improve it, maybe step by step.
Yes, indeed, George. Stamina again is one of those core attributes that you want to have, or that you also want to develop when you're thinking about improving your fitness and creating a fitness program. So, not, in addition to doing things that build muscle, walking, anything that challenges your cardiovascular system, you want to incorporate. And I always encourage that the main thing that people can do, which is also one of the easiest things if you have the ability, is to walk. So the longer that you can start to increase your walks, if you start with 5 minutes or 2 minutes or around the block, um, that's what I tell people is a staple that they can add into their workout plans, because most of the times people can do that for longer periods of time rather than jogging or running or anything that may be high intensity on the knees and the joints. Um, the walking aspect should be a major part of any workout program. And if you want to, like I said, if you want to increase to jogging or running or even biking is very good for the building stamina because it's also low impact and it's not something that where you're pounding. So things that are low impact that you can do for an extended period of time are always going to be very important for those that are trying to build from the
Mhm.
ground up.
What about this whole idea of the number of steps and those kinds of things?
Yes, getting the number of steps in is definitely a good goal. That's a good way to, if you can try to aim for maybe 10,000 steps a day. But the steps can count in your house, they can count in your yard. So if you like gardening, if you like cleaning up, or if you like getting out during the day in between work at your lunch hour or something like that, and just having a goal and getting those steps in is very important.
A lot of people have got animals, and they don't, they see a walk for stamina as something, you go out of your house and you go 10 minutes out and 10 minutes back or whatever. But they forget that if they have to take their dog or your cat or whatever animal you may have in your house, I mean, that counts too.
Yeah, yes, most definitely. Any type of where any type of way that you can stack habits, stacking good habits. So like we were talking about earlier with the balance. If you're in the bathroom and you can stand on one foot, or if you can add in an extra 5 minutes into your walk with your dog, um, that's a great way to, like I said, add in those little micro doses of fitness that's already incorporated into your everyday life, because then it's you're getting the benefit, and then you're also taking care of your responsibility, so you're knocking out two things at the same time. So we always want to be efficient.
Efficiency always works. So let's go to
Yes,
the next
yes,
part of the
sir.
test, which is really about how strong my grip is. The next is grip strength. Simply, how long can you hang from a bar before you have to drop? It feels like 15 or 20 seconds. We'll see. Leon, when I took this test on grip strength, I didn't know how important it was, sort of overall fitness, to be able to measure your grip strength. How important is it? And if your grip isn't sort of as tight as it used to be, or you think it should be, what can you do to improve it?
Right. Yeah. Yes, George. Most people don't understand how important grip strength is, as especially as we get older. But it's an indicator. Definitely, it can be an indicator of overall health and strength, but also cardiovascular health as well. So you want to make sure that when you're working out and you're putting together your fitness program, again, strength training is very important. This is where different things such as kettlebells and dumbbells can play a good role. So if you're in your house and you have some dumbbells that you can carry and just walk with down to your side and try to hold them as long as you can, that's a good way to work on your grip strength. Also, if you have a somewhere where you can hold on to a bar, maybe not, high enough where your feet are actually off the ground, but if you can hang even with your feet on the ground with less pressure on your legs, you can start to do that for 15 seconds at a time. And that can also help to improve your grip strength.
Mhm.
But doing things, and then also if you have a tennis ball or something that those stress balls, you can start to do 25 squeezes on each hand and things of that nature that will help to improve your grip strength. But those things that we don't look at, such as our feet and our toes for balance, and our hands, which we operate and move around and carry things around all the time, are very important to also focus on when we're building our strength programs.
Great advice. Great advice. One more test. I had never heard of a burpee before I tried one.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Wait till you see this. And finally, overall stamina. We're going to do burpees, a modified one. How many can you do in 30 seconds? I'm tired. As I said, Leon, I'd never heard of a burpee before I actually tried it. Uh, we've done sort of a number of things during this test to
yes.
determine our fitness level. What are some of the basic takeaways, do you think, in trying to get fit, but at least trying to figure out what your fitness level is before you go into a regular program? How can we all sort of get better at this?
Yes, and George, that burpee is, I would say that's one of the most dynamic movements that you can possibly do, especially with your own body weight, because you're literally getting on the ground, or, making yourself prone on the ground and then having to get back up again, which is a great metaphor for life I said before, because you got to get up, and sometimes you get down and you got to get back up again.
That's right.
But the burpee is a full body movement. So if you can even do a modification version of that, where you may step the feet out instead of jump the feet out and then hop up, you have a pretty decent um, fitness level, I would say. If you can do
But
maybe one or two of those
indeed,
where you can
indeed,
actually get back up.
indeed, that's what I did. I didn't do the full one. I did a modification because I was afraid if I tried to do the full one, I might not ever get up.
Right, right. So building your strength and your endurance up to be able to do that movement is very important, and it's something that can be done in a small area, which I also love. So building up your fitness routine is important to understand that one, you want to start with the basics, and as we mentioned, doing things that work on your balance, standing on one foot, maybe doing body weight squats where you're getting up and down from a chair and trying to keep your body upright. Also, doing things that work on your grip that are very basic. You want to start to understand that your body is like anything else. As a kid learns to walk one step at a time, as you're building your fitness, start from the basics of where you're at. If you haven't moved in a while, start that walk, that 5 minute walk, or doing stretches in the house, but starting at a certain point and then understanding that it's going to take time, but always believe in the process and believe in yourself that if you stay consistent, that you'll be able to achieve your fitness goals.
Indeed, that's really, really great advice, Leon. Thank you so much for being with us. And we've got a special fitness test on our website so that you can actually take the test that I did. And remember, our website is aawellnessproject.org. That's aawellnessproject.org. Again, Leon, thanks for being with us, and thanks for all the good tips.
Thank you, George. And I look forward to helping you and having more information for you next time.
And thanks, everybody, for watching us. Thank you very much.